Hello, everybody, and welcome to the commentary zone. As you enter the room, please don't forget to give us a little thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, the notification bell, tell a friend. All right, so on the docket today, we have The Real Housewives of Miami, Season 5, Episode 11, Black Card Energy. Ciao. I love
Mm.
it. I love this show.
I mean, I'm gonna start with saying
Wait,
this.
I was supposed to Google
Go
this.
ahead.
Mm-hmm. No. I'm
I,
Googling something. You go ahead and say what you got to say.
okay. Um,
Go ahead.
I see why people roast Alexia online. I see why now. I used to be like,
Mm-hmm.
people are just being mean. People are just being a little bit too mean about Alexia. This and that. She means well sometimes, yada yada. But this last episode, I'm like, nah. I mean, how she was dismissive of Nicole and her feelings, and how she was dismissive of Adriana. I'm like, yeah, I see why people go in on you. I
Mm-hmm.
see why they go so hard on her. I'm like, you deserve this one. You really, really deserve this because the way you were acting was out of pocket.
Yep. Ciao. Um. Okay. Emerald green. Oof. 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 Okay. So as you always like to say, I'm bougie, but I got so much black card energy from this episode. But not really from the black card, but from that Hermes Birkin uh crocodile bag that Miss Blackheart Energy was strutting around with before she threw that credit card down in that man's lap.
I hollered. I'm sorry. When she did that, I was like, wow.
But I was focused on the bag though. I was focused on the bag. Her and Anthony, they are living a life. These bitches is jealous.
When she went to, she said, how much do you charge? And she went to her like you said, her Hermes crocodile bag, took out her
Mhm.
Amex black card and said, "Here, I'll pay you for your time."
But get that you heard was it Marisol or Alexia said, "Oh, I paid him like, 750
Alexia,
an hour." And she was like, "I don't care, bitch. I got a black card. Rent it. Rent it. Set up a tab. Keep it open. I got
and,
questions."
and Alexia was like, "Well, your husband's a lawyer. Ask her fiance. Sorry, fiance, not husband yet. Ask your
No, but she
fiance."
keeps on saying husband. Alexia keeps on saying husband. And this isn't the
Mm,
first time that she's done that. And I'm wondering if it's like something like if you consider yourself married if you're only engaged, or if they really are married and we just don't
right.
know, but Alexia like talking out people business. Oh my god. All right, so yeah, I was fixated on the handbag. I didn't give a shit about the card. I was fixated on the handbag. Okay. And just so that y'all know, roughly on the resale market, that bag is about $88,000.
That's
Resale.
resale. Also,
Resale.
I had to make sure I heard resale because we know.
On the
I'm going.
resale market. When you talking about crocodiles, okay, let's just give an explanation on this. Victoria Beckham has a limited edition crocodile. I think it's a Birkin. It's not a Kelly. It's a limited edition crocodile bag from
Mm,
Hermes, right? When the 4 bags that were ever made in this crocodile pattern was sold, they started at $250,000. $250,000. Okay.
you see my
That
head
was
on my face.
years ago. So you could imagine what those 4 ever made bags cost now. I'm just saying. So when she strutted out in that vert, because it's French. You can't say green. You gotta say vert.
I
If I'm
love it.
saying it wrong, I don't care. But when she strutted across with that, even when they changed it to the telenovela black and white,
Mm,
with Marisol going no.
that was funny.
MVP of this show, two, Nicole and production. Production and editing.
Um, I mean, I was just like, wow. And Larsa, as usual, just show her whole behind. She looked so stupid
Stupid.
because the way production did her with the flashbacks of the clips, I'm like, ooh, that is defamation.
No, listen, and then you're gonna sit there and say, I have proof. I have DMs. What?
At DMs. And when she
What?
said, and when Marisol came out, well, I have DMs too. And Nicole said that could have just been Larsa DMing you under a fake account. I was like, I hollered, like, oh, she's driving the part home that Larsa, you ain't got anything to do with your life. And then when you take that scene, when Nicole says that, right?
Mhm.
Then you flash back because I think the lawyer was after we saw Larsa in her apartment moisturizing her feet and legs to take OnlyFans pics. I'm just like, oh,
And every
oh.
time she sits there and she goes, I'm gonna get $40,000 for this. I'm like 1-800 IRS, get her now.
Mm.
Really? Why don't you ever say what you get from your jewelry company? You only brag on the softcore porn of your feet
Mhm.
that you put up on OnlyFans. Like, what are you
Mhm.
doing, Larsa? You're a
And I do want,
businesswoman? Ugh.
mm, I do want to go back to the beginning of this episode because it was
Mm.
a recap of the last episode about
Yeah. So back to
Nicole.
Nicole's party. Hmm.
Yes, Nicole's party. She gets, we see her getting Alexia's face, and
Hmm.
this hit that since it was a flashback, it hit me a little bit more because she said, "When you work 20 years,"
Hmm.
I'm like, "Oops," because you said that because you know Alexia can never do that. If Alexia worked in 20 years,
Exactly.
she would be like
Hmm.
75. So you know that's not happening, and blah 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 blah. I'm like that. You ain't said nothing but a word, and Alexia, she shut Alexia down. It was hilarious. The fact that she shut Alexia down, did no longer engage with that and enjoy her party and left them sitting there. I'm like,
And
you
when
know
it did a
what?
costume change.
Yes.
Costume change. But listen, Marisol and Alexia have nothing for her. They don't like her. They are jealous of
Mm-mm.
her. And I saw it on Kempire earlier, and I'm glad somebody brought it up. But Nicole's not 100% Cuban. She's half Puerto Rican. That's a
Mm-hmm.
problem because Cubans are hella mad that what's the name of that rum? Bacardi. Cubans consider Bacardi their rum. Granted, it did start in Cuba, but because they escaped and went over to Puerto Rico, it became the Puerto Rican rum. But there's a hot debate over that. A hot debate. There is, I would have to see them interact with her mother to judge what is going on there. If it's just a jealousy over this girl is educated, she can handle herself, she can handle y'all, and y'all can't get one over on her, and she knows her own mind. She's not going to fall into line like a little soldier behind Alexia, who wants to be that girl on this particular series. um
Mm-hmm.
or if it's something more with regards to the parentage, because they was all up in Poppy. I like it when you call me Big Poppy, but I didn't see them approach her mom. So I'm wondering about that. And Alexia is all gung ho that she should just let bygones be bygones with her daddy. Well, he been in jail. Did you let bygones be bygones with your first husband when he went to jail?
I have a question though. Is the father Cuban?
He's the Cuban. He's the
Okay.
Cuban.
See, now that you say that, I can see why they was like, oh, just overlook that. He's Cuban.
Hmm.
Okay. Okay. That gives
But
me more
we can't,
context.
we can't, we can't, we can't. We need to see an interaction with the mom.
Hmm.
To make that assessment, we need to see an interaction with the mom.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. But it's interesting when you piece that together. That's like another part. That's another
Mm-hmm.
part. But then, like you said, we need to see an interaction with the mom to see if there is a difference.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact
And
that she got up, which like to
mm-hmm.
move this along a little bit, when
Mm-hmm.
she got up and just left them sitting there, and I don't think she went back to them for the rest of the night. She's like, I'm just gonna enjoy my night.
Exactly. Exactly. Because she was pissed that they brought that argument to her engagement party. And on top of that, they weren't supporting her. They were taking Larsa's side. Larsa,
Mm-hmm.
the girl that puts her feet up on OnlyFans, amongst other things. Like, seriously, with her baseless accusations against her professional career. Like, it makes no sense. It
Now
makes
I
no sense.
do from that party. I
Hmm.
want to know how you felt about Thierry. Here's the thing. I under I get the point of view of a man shouldn't speak to a woman a certain way, fine, but whatever. But the
Hmm.
man has the right to defend himself against accusations made against him by people that he don't know. Like for example, his reaction because he doesn't know Alexia or Marisol. So
Hmm.
I understand the reaction. He's like, I don't even know you. You don't know me. So who are you to be running around saying this? So I understood where he was coming from.
Hmm.
And Alexia, you don't get to play the I'm a woman card when you are out here like just throwing accusations around. That argument for me fell flat, in my opinion, because what it does is it says I can use my gender to get out of any situation to where I don't have to admit I'm wrong. I just didn't like that. It just doesn't sit well.
Hmm. You know what? In normal circumstances, I wouldn't want him to be approaching any woman telling,
Hmm.
saying a toast to minding your fucking business, right?
It was
Um,
funny though. Sorry,
it was funny. It was funny. And I think the reason why I was thinking it's funny because it was Alexia, and I'm
Alexia.
not here for her. But also, I'm going to address her reaction because he didn't really call out her name. He was
Right.
just making a generalized shady toast, but
Right.
she got in her feelings. Guilty
Right.
conscience. But
Hmm.
again, you falling into the trap from Marisol because Marisol be digging up all of that dirt from in the gutters that she sleep in, and then your dumbass comes and runs that to the crew, and you're just as bad as Larsa. You're
And did you
just
see
as
how
bad as
Marisol?
Larsa.
Did you see how Marisol was like and she was like
Mar- Marisol just was like, oh, okay, let's go.
and then in the
Marisol be
confessional,
planting these grenades and then sitting back.
and then Marisol was in the confessional like, can I get a new best friend? Anyone, a new best friend, please. I was like, because Alexia got pissed because Marisol didn't jump to her aid. And here's the
Mhm.
thing, you already but see here's the problem, Alexia, you already ratted out Marisol.
But here's also another problem that I had with this. You said she was like, you can't talk to me like that. I'm the female, you're a male, da 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 da. But she jumped up in his face and said, isn't this da da da?
Hmm.
Don't be jumping up in no man face unless you want something back. You taught me that. You taught me that. I was like, girl, you walking a real fine line because if you was in another place and time, another response, you would have got snatched. I'm sorry.
Like where I was raised, where I come from, you don't get in other people's space. And I tell people all the time, I was like, I'm a person where if we're verbally going back and forth and we're in our seats, we're cool, we're fine, we're whatever. Fine. We can go back and forth. I said, the moment you get out your seat and come at me, that is an act of aggression. And legally, I think I have the right to defend myself any way I need to. And if I have to dog walk you, not my problem. I just don't like that. I was just raised in an environment you don't do that. You don't charge at people. And
She
I just
just
felt like
handled
what
the
she
situation wrong. She did. She was wrong. I get it. But she
mhm.
can't ever admit she's wrong. And it's
Right, like,
annoying.
and then later we see that they didn't scroll down all the way on the screen to see that he was divorced.
How dumb are you? Cause that's when we get to her apartment. Hold on.
Hmm.
That's when we get to her apartment for the luncheon. Hold on. Did anything else happen at the engagement party? Um Hold on. Alexia.
Hmm.
Oh, she even called this man an asshole repetitively throughout this
Hmm.
episode. Girl, you need to stop. Um, let's see. We get okay, so that's the end of the engagement party. Next, we see Alexia inviting all of the ladies to her apartment for a luncheon with a guest speaker. It is an attorney who does family law, and she thinks that the situation that's happening with Lisa, that it would be beneficial to all of them. A lot of them have gone through divorces, but if they had any questions, primarily Lisa, for Lisa's benefit, they can ask this lawyer their questions, right? um we see Larsa with her friend, and she's taking pictures of her feet. Nobody really cares about Larsa in this episode. Honestly, she was a waste of time. Next, we see Nicole talking to her friend Lisa, the therapist. I thought this was a good scene.
And
This
that was,
told
and
me
now
that
we,
Lisa is just like her dad. That's all I got to say. They're two stubborn individuals who can't let go of the past.
oh, what are you talking about?
Sorry, Nicole and her dad, Mike.
Oh, there we go. Okay, okay, there we
Yeah,
go.
sorry. Yeah, Nicole and Mike. They are the same person. They're both stubborn and they won't let go of the past.
I think with Nicole, she's like you said, she's still harboring that resentment,
Mm-hmm.
and that's traumatizing as a child, though. It really
Mm-hmm.
is. So it's going to take a lot for her to get to move past that, and I don't think she's at a space that she can. I think for me, based on what I've seen through the dynamic, is that he's wanting her to accept him in the place that he is, but
Mm-hmm.
she's still holding on to the past. So she has to move past it. And I think in order for her to move past, she needs a therapist session or two, just to really talk it out and you know the professional help to move past it. Because like I can imagine having the feds come to my house and take everything. I'm sorry. As a child, I don't think I could. Oof.
Especially a little girl who's probably a daddy's girl.
Oh,
And to
for
see him
sure.
stripped away from her and not understand fully what's
Hmm.
going on. Um, and then to see your mother struggle because he's not there. It's all his fault, kind of. And then when he finally does come back, he associates himself with these girlfriends who are basically crazy and want to burn the house down. And they revolve in and out. Obviously, this last girlfriend is the longest one that he's had. But she's gonna have to make an effort. I think she should give him one more try. And since this girlfriend's been around for 3 years and hasn't burned down a house yet,
Hmm.
how about just meet her someplace else for lunch so that way you don't burn down your house? I mean,
Right.
if that's what you're scared of, like, you don't have to bring her around your child, because I get that's why you have this barrier up. You don't want
Mm-hmm.
that infecting your family, and you don't want his shenanigans be visible to your child the way how they were to you. But maybe you can have lunch, take a step, because she did admit, if Mike wasn't her dad and the how he was at her engagement party, she would probably
Mm-hmm.
have a drink with him.
Mm-hmm.
But he is her dad. And she's holding the childhood trauma against him.
100%.
Dang. All right, so Gertie can't go to lunch because she booked and busy going to Cayman for a event. I guess it's a wedding. I don't know, but it's
And I
an
think it was
event.
a wedding. She said what? She said a wedding because she said she told her son
Mhm.
that family night's gonna be on Sunday because mommy has to go to the Caymans for a wedding. And this scene was hilarious to me because she asked her son, she's like, do you want rice? He's all no. She's all like, you know what? You love rice, so I think you should. She makes me laugh. I was like, okay, I guess.
Let me tell you, personal experience. I worked for a property in Cayman. That's big money wedding in Cayman. That's big money wedding in Cayman. Go Gertie! Go Gertie! You know what? She doesn't have a storyline to save her life,
She
but she got
doesn't.
a business and she's booked and busy, and I'm here to appreciate it.
But see,
Yay!
here's the thing. I think I remember. I think I played that interview from Alexia from preseason, and she was acting like Nicole and Gertie were coming for her, and they were just too big for their britches. I'm like, I don't think they would be that way, but we'll watch the season. What it is, Alexia, you're jealous. You're
Mhm.
jealous that Gertie is booked and busy, and you're jealous that Nicole has an actual professional career, and she has nothing for you and Marisol. Alexia's, when I put those two together, she's coming off real bitter and jealous.
Mhm.
Gertie is booked and busy. Like, why are you mad? Like, this is why I
And
don't
booked
understand
and
when
busy
women's.
without your non-wedding.
I don't get it. And Nicole is a whole doctor. I'm like, y'all need to quit
Mhm.
playing games with her. Quit playing games with her. She is a whole doctor. And
Yeah.
when we get to the whole thing with Nicole and Larsa, and Larsa just looked at dumber every time she opened her mouth. I'm like, sometimes you just need to know when you're outmatched.
But that's Larsa and Alexia suffer from the same thing. They're too stupid to know that.
Mm,
They're too busy playing princess and not reading
mm-mm.
the room. That's what that is. So we get to Alexia's apartment. Um and this is where she admits to Marisol and Nicole that she did not scroll to the bottom to see the last document filed, that he was indeed divorced, meaning Terry, Adriana's
Mm-hmm.
new friend.
Mm-hmm.
And she doesn't care. She doesn't care. Um, oh Lord. So let's see. Everyone starts to arrive. Nicole and Larsa are a bit frosty. Julia arrives and she still has this thing on her hand. What did she do to her hand? Is this where the dog bit her?
Julia, I want
Yeah.
to say yeah.
Um, let's see. Oh, when Julia arrives, Alexia is there saying that Terry is still a big asshole. That's what she walks into. And Julia's just like, oh, great. Here we go again.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they sit down to the table and Alexia jumps straight in on Julia. And like she says that she's surprised at her lack of response at the engagement party, the way how Terry was talking to her, and why she didn't say something. And I don't even think I remembered hearing Julia say anything, but I was like, Alexia, like, you ain't even making no damn sense. Why are you bringing Julia into this?
Exactly.
Let's see. Kiki comes in late. Adriana says something. I can't even remember what Adriana is, but Adriana takes over the argument. Um, what was she talking about when she said it was dark and they're over 50 and they can't see? And then they started
Oh,
fighting.
okay. It was okay. What was this? Because remember Terry pulled out his paperwork and said, "Can you read?"
Oh,
And that's what it was. Now, Joe's like, he didn't mean it that way. He just been like, we're over 50. It was dark. We all know how eyesight goes.
Adriana is a mess. I
She was trying to
love
clean it
it.
up. She was trying to clean it up for her man.
Oh my God. Let's see. Adriana says that Alexia should apologize. And Alexia says it's never going to happen. Alexia, this is a major character flaw for you because
Hmm.
you can't be wrong and strong. You got to know when to take accountability. You was dead fucking wrong with this. And he is a professional down here and you talking all
Hmm.
bunch of smack.
Right.
Like if it had happened to you with Todd, wouldn't you be demanding an apology?
Right.
Alexia is just so dense. I can't stand her. She says that she's not gonna say sorry for what she's not sorry for. And then she said, I admit that he's not married, as if that makes it better, but that's not an apology, you idiot.
Nope.
Let's see. Lisa says that the cat fighting is helping her get over what's going on in her life. I love it. Oh, just off topic, just to go back to the engagement party. I felt so bad for Lisa. She came to that engagement party and she was like, I'm really happy for my friend, but then I think about what
Yes.
I'm going through. I was like, girl, how you even made it there? I know I couldn't. I know I couldn't, but you know what? You need a check right now more than ever. So you need to be in every
Right.
scene, Lisa.
Every event.
Oh my God. So, let's see. So Adriana finds out that Alexia did not scroll down on the document and she can't believe it. Um she says that it's not nice to be accused of being going out with a to be going out with a married man. And that going through his records was none of her business. However, Adriana, if it is public records, anybody could go through it. Just saying. Anybody. God knows I go through enough of them. um what else? Let's see. Okay, so Nicole tells everybody to stop and that they're friends at the end of the day. And then she starts to say that it's people's intent that is what really matters. And then she turned to Larsa. And she is like she's got something in her craw for Larsa. And we see the
Hmm.
beginning of it here. But the attorneys show up. And Larsa is talking about these DMs that she received on Nicole. And Nicole is like, well, saying, well, show it. And Larsa is like, no. But Adriana breaks it up because the lawyers are there. So they kind of simmer down on the fights. Alexia introduces the lawyers. It's two of them, and their family law specialty. They finish their lunch. They go sit down on the couch. Julia asks a question about the "Don't Say Gay" bill and how it will affect adopting a child. So he said, which I thought was a good question.
Hmm.
Um, he gives the explanation it shouldn't have any impact at all. And then they start asking, Larsa starts asking her, "Are you adopting?" And she's like, "No, I'm just keeping my options open." And she says she doesn't want to share something as joyful and precious as that with someone with the likes of Larsa. And I don't blame her,
Agreed.
you know? But of course, freaking frack, Marisol and Alexia on the couch looking at each other. Alexia thinks she's got it all worked out. Oh, empty nesting. So you want another baby. Got it. Shut up, Alexia. Um, Next question was, it was Adriana. She takes out these divorce papers and goes up to the attorney and go, "Are these real divorce papers?" And he confirms it. He shows her the signatures, the judge, the clerk, da 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 da. Um, his divorce, there was only two pages, right?
Mm-hmm.
His divorce was pretty cut and dry
Right.
because just 2 pages. That's like if you bum broke and busted. Like I've
Or
received divorce documents that were over 500 pages.
right, but he probably it probably it was, I'll say this. It's probably more than 2 pages, but they only brought the pages they needed to bring. That's my that's my guess.
But here's the thing though, well, okay, I'll give you that, but in my old life where I had to review those documents, I needed all of, like, including the settlement. I needed all of that to submit to the
Yeah.
court.
Oh yeah. Oh, for sure. This is reality TV though. Look. We need the one with the signatures and the seal. That's all we need.
Oh my goodness. Like, because I don't
Because
think I've ever
because
received a two-page divorce decree.
because in your old life, my guess is if any pages are missing, it's considered incomplete.
Correct. Correct, because we needed the divorce decrees or death certificates proving widowerhood
Hmm.
to
Hmm.
submit to the court.
That makes sense because it's not. If you're missing one thing, we don't know we don't
Mhm.
know what's missing. So we have
Well,
to.
if you're missing one thing, they can't get married.
Mm,
So it's first reviewed by the officiant, and then it's reviewed at the court when they're submitted, because they submitted along with the new marriage license.
gotcha.
And like I've had to go back to people 3, 4, 5 times, like, dude, what else is missing here? Because this is saying like one of 46, and
Yes.
37 through 39 is missing.
Yep.
And it would be like something coming back, well, my personal information, bank information is on it. I said, make a photocopy of it, cross it out, black it out,
Hmm.
and send it through. Nobody wants to see your bank information, but we'll understand
Right.
that this is where the maintenance is being deducted from, and then you'll cross out the bank information. Child, like that time that I got that 500 and something page divorce decree with settlement, I was at first, I was like, why are you sending me a zip file? And when I opened it, I was
Hmm.
like, wait, what? First, it was in German and then translated to English.
Oh wow.
I was like, what the hell? But that's what's required of the courts, because if it's in a foreign language, you have to send the foreign language plus the translation, and both have to be certified.
Right.
I was like, oh God, okay. I sat there for hours counting pages. Hours. Uh, Anywho, so we got that, and then next up, Nicole asked about defamation. I'm gonna let you talk about Nicole, because my only thing in this was the bag.
So with Nicole, she just took the opportunity to ask her question, and then Larsa got defensive. I'm like, well, if you didn't do anything wrong, and if you, why are you getting defensive? To me, when someone asks a general question and you get offended, that means you think you might have done something wrong, or you knew what you did was wrong. Either way, how you want to put it. And what she said was defamatory because you're attacking someone's reputation. Like these kind of things can affect her job directly. This isn't some little game like like you could be suspended off of OnlyFans for a week. No, she has an actual like professional career.
Mm-hmm.
So anyone who has a professional career is not going to let their reputation be ruined by someone they don't really know or anyone in that matter.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the way it works. That's just how it is. Like when you're someone who really doesn't have that behind you, you're not going to see this as some big deal. And Nicole
Yeah.
had every right to be pissed. Every right to be pissed.
But then Alexia jumps up and says, "You're asking the wrong person. Go and ask your husband." Um, what are you defensive about, Alexia?
Right.
What's your role in this?
Alexia makes it her business to jump in everyone else's business, and I find that quite interesting. Because
Mm.
if you really think about it, outside of Frankie, she has no storyline either.
This was real embarrassing, though. The way how these women were behaving in front of these two, I don't
The
want to say
lawyer having Roland,
strangers.
the lawyer having Roland.
He was like, "What is going on here?" And they were just screeching, screeching. And she was like, "This is not what I brought him here for." And then Marisol's trying to pinch hit. "Well, she's paying for his time to be here with us." And that's when our good old Nicole, MVP, her in that bag, jump up and she opens her bag, pulls out the black card, throws it into this man's lap, and says, "Bill me. I have questions." But he did explain it to her. He said even though it's not our specialty, he is still a lawyer and he knows what the basic definitions are, and that's what he
Right.
explained to them.
Mm-hmm.
The basic definitions of slander, libel, all of that. But again, Nicole, you wasting your time with these bitches because um you understood that without having to ask the lawyer. But
Mm-hmm.
these ignorant heifers do not. And they're going to argue over it. So this was
Right.
wasted. This was wasted. Um but she did come on in her confession and said, "Were they jealous that I'm the only one with a black card?" Boop boop boop.
That was just too funny. I'm like Nicole was just stay eating them up. I'm not mad at her.
Mm-mm. Um Nicole says basically y'all gotta prove it or apologize. And Marisol then says, "Well, I got a DM a while ago." DMs are not proof. Marisol, you showing yourself
No.
to be just as dumb as Larsa. And she goes over and she shows the DM. Marisol said that she got a DM from the same person. She says she didn't know who it was. That Nicole slept with a resident years ago while she was separated. So Nicole quite clearly and correctly says, "Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I slept with someone while I was separated."
Mm-hmm.
And I think she said legally separated. So I can't be cheating on my husband if we're separated. These
Mm-hmm.
bitches ain't ready. They really ain't. And then she explains to them, she goes, "I was legally separated from my husband and I had a relationship and it was consensual. And I was a resident, and so was he." And like she just went through it and she was like, "And what is wrong with that?"
Mm-hmm. And people are eating
What
Larsa up.
Larsa said was that she slept with every doctor at at the hospital.
Mm-hmm. And Productions was there with that beautiful main footage. Oof.
Mm-hmm.
And I just went on Twitter real quick. Larsa is getting ate up on Twitter. Like
Because Larsa's an idiot.
because Nicole
Um,
just left no crumbs. That's what happened. That's just literally what happened.
But then she finishes them off and she says that whenever she's with these women, she feels like she should be read her Miranda rights, and the attorney nearly fell out.
Mm-hmm.
um Lisa screams at this point. It's so embarrassing. And that's when they allow Lisa to start asking her question. And this is when we get to the part about when Harry met Sally. And
Mm-hmm.
thank God, because it cleared up a lot of incorrect information that these women who have been divorced was given Lisa to fight with Lenny.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad that he was there to give her counsel. But what got me was, of course, he knows who she is. Of course, he knows that she's in the middle of one of the nastiest divorces that have been happening down here in quite some time. And I like when he said, I think he referred to her seeking legal counsel and getting advice, and telling her she has a right to stay in the home and she cannot be evicted. um don't change the locks, kind of thing. um but between Lisa and Marisol's questions about Harry and Sally, I think it got her the information that she needed, had she not already sought legal advice, which I cannot believe she did not do. So, again, Alexia, why are you hosting this luncheon if not to have an event in your apartment?
Mm-hmm.
But she's been going through this for about a month. Divorce papers were served on her. She should have been had an attorney. From the
Mm-hmm.
moment Lenny said, I'm seeing somebody else, I'm divorcing you, I want you out of my home, she should have been seeing an attorney from then.
Exactly.
Oh, and you heard what Lenny said? He told his mama he don't never want to see her up in his house again. Lenny is trash.
I mean, the whole thing is a mess. The whole thing is just
Oh,
completely.
you heard the attorney tell Sally to take inventory of all of her items?
But Debbie, let's back up. You been said that though. You been said they need to go in her closet and giving the new girlfriend her items, and that she needs to go in there right away and inventory everything.
Yep. Yep.
You've been said that.
Child, Lenny is a dirtbag.
But how you treat your own mama that way though?
Ooh. What did she ever do to you, Lenny? Oh my God. Now we go back to Lisa's house, and she there playing with her kid. Why her kids always playing with guns? Like, it's just so weird. The little girl is acting out. She took a straw and smacked Lisa in the face with it. Lisa put her in timeout. We see a scene. Thank you, production, where Lenny come home, don't say nothing to nobody, go off and do his business, and then leaves. She says that he does not sleep there anymore. He comes home and he goes into the bedroom, and she goes after him. And she's like, I need the check for the nanny. He's like, you called me after I left. She goes, oh, well, what are we gonna do? He goes, I have cash. That was a red flag for me right there. You
Yep.
paying your employees cash? Okay, Lenny. Um, he says, I'm sure I have enough cash that I can cover whatever salary is owed to her. She's like, I'm mic'd up, and the camera crew comes in, and he's like, I don't want to be filmed.
Mm-hmm.
They go back out, but they're still on mic. She is there picking at him. Why can't you even just say hi to me? Who is counseling you, Lisa? I am trying to
Mm-hmm.
do what's right for you. I'm trying to provide a home for you, but you are resisting. Fuck you, Lenny. What is going on? The manipulation, and he don't even care that they pick. They had a mic up underneath that bed. They had a mic up underneath that bed to hear him that clear.
Mm-hmm.
He's a dog, but he's the gift that keeps on giving. Lenny. Lisa is building her case. Thank you,
Mm-hmm.
Bravo. Thank you, Peacock. whoever attorney she has is guiding her correctly, including that spending spree she had before the lockdown day. Oh my god. Lenny is dirt though. Lenny. Oh. I can't say that I'm surprised because I feel like he treats the women in his life like something that can be bought and sold, um, easily disposed of or replaced or upgraded. How he
Mm-hmm.
spoke to his mom. All I got to say is, girl, whoever this girlfriend is, just take note. Because, like, in 3 years, it's going to happen to you, if that long.
Who was that?
The new
What's going?
girlfriend. I told her to take note.
Oh, oh, she's gonna get traded in real quick. But
Yeah.
here's my whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Before I before we end this, shout
Yeah.
out to Lisa because she Lisa. I understand at this point in time you was going through it. You were losing your family. I understand that, but baby, you looked it too good to be worried about Lenny. I'm sorry. Lisa kills it anything she wears. I'm like, what does the new girlfriend look like to where you believe your wife? I mean, Lenny, like, no offense to you. Yes, you have the money, you have the coin, cool.
But
But you,
does he, though? Does
if
he
he
have
does,
the money? Because here's my thing. When he said that cash thing, that sent up a flag for me. That I don't know, maybe it's because it's down here in Miami. But
I
yeah,
mean,
the
if you make
cash thing
a,
is worrying me.
not really, because I assume that a lot of plastic surgeons do house calls. Just saying. I'm gonna give him that for now until I see paperwork.
No, here's the thing though. You know that this is your nanny. You know that they have a regular check coming, and you're gonna say that you left the office before she called you regarding that check. Your accountant has that check already cut and waiting for you by 11:30 a.m. in the morning on a Friday. That's it. Um Remember, let's just go back a little bit cuz I know you got to go, but that that line of credit that he has from the home equity, I keep
Mm-hmm.
thinking about that. And when you're doing like shady shit, you always got cash on you because you're going to go to the hotel with your bitch and paying cash so that they can't trace it on the card. He's not spending his nights at home and he's not in her dinkity donk apartment. They're living it up in hotels. They're having dinner. They're doing all of this and he's paying in cash, so it's not traced.
Mm-hmm.
But yet acting a plum fool on this. Whatever attorney is count, he said it right. I don't know who is counseling you. He saw what she was doing because she warned him, I'm filming, just so you know. So
Mm-hmm.
once she made that disclosure, he knew he was being recorded audio wise at
Mm-hmm.
the very least, and he still acted like a whole ass.
Yep.
I can't. When is Leah coming on? Jeez. Anywho, that was the episode, y'all. The Real Housewives of Miami, season 5, episode 11, Black Card Energy, MVP for me, Nicole, and her Hermes Birkin crocodile sidekick in the black card. What about you,
All
Jamal?
right. You know what? Now I'm going to agree with Twitter on this. I'm on the Twitter feed and stuff. Nicole is she came to work. She got her feet wet the first season, and I'm gonna say this, and I'm sure you can attest to this. You meet a lot of professionals like lawyers, doctors, who
Mm-hmm.
don't like to lead with their profession, and I think Nicole. We had to get to know her this last season, so she had to disclose. Of course, she's a doctor.
Mm-hmm.
I think she realized that, you know what, these chicks are not really my friend, so I don't need to hold myself back or doma shine for any of them. And she's letting them know who she is, and she's not taking any crap from them, and she has nothing for them, and they don't like that.
Mm-hmm. So there's a question here from Ebony Dix. Why would he be nice to her if he wants her out? I'm not even gonna
See,
respond to that.
here's the thing. Here's the thing. That to me, that's the only where I fault Lisa. Lisa, you're still holding on to latch ditch efforts of the relationship. This man does not want to be with you. Quit trying to force him to talk to you. And that's the only moment where I disagree with Lisa. All she needed to do was go to him and say, "Hey, can I get the check for the nanny?" As soon as he said, "I don't have the check," you let me know. After I already left, I have cash. You just let him know, like, "Hey, cool. Do you have an envelope?" And keep it moving.
She needed to get more on audio, because don't forget, he's the power player in this relationship down here. She needs to get, like, I feel something goes on behind the scenes that has made her behave in the way that she has within this marriage. She just needs to get that
Mm,
on film or audio. She needs that. She did that for a reason. Because the
mhm,
reason why I say that is because he said, I don't know who's counseling you.
mhm,
She needed to get that on film. And the reason why he should be nice to her is because that's the mother of his children when all is said and done.
mhm,
Y'all might be getting a divorce for whatever reasons, but that is the mother of your children. And you should not
mhm,
like disrespect her or treat her like trash or try to throw her out with your children. Case
mhm,
closed. If you have that much of an issue with you, why don't you get the fuck out? Like, if you don't want to see her or be nice to her, Lenny, you move out. I don't have no respect who want to treat like his children like gutter snipes. I'm sorry. Act as an ass. He told her that he is looking for a place for her to go because he knows that she won't leave. Exactly, and that is insulting. Why should she leave her family home with her children? We know he doesn't care about his kids, and she needs that
mm-mm.
on audio as well.
Right.
She
That's
needs
true.
all of this on audio, because when you go in to fight for custody, you need to bring this to the judge, and you need to bring it to that mediary that's talking to them kids. And I'm glad that they caught that little Ella smacked her in her face. I'm
Hmm.
glad, because these kids are picking up on all of the shadiness that's going on in this house, and they're acting out on it. If he cared, he would have stayed home when there was no nanny. Exactly. But he doesn't. He has other priorities now, and all of this needs to be put on film so that it can be shared with the family court when it comes up. Just saying.
Hmm.
Just saying. All right, Jamal, I know you got to go back to work. This has been a long day. Everybody have a wonderful weekend. Thank you for joining us. Hey, replay crew, leave your comments below. We'll love to see them. And Jamal, have a great weekend.
You too. Don't work too hard or play too hard.
I'll try not to. I'll try not to. All right, y'all. Have a wonderful weekend. Until next time, Jamal.
Yep.
All right. Bye.